Well, as the season wears on, União Sao Paulo have opened up a little bit of a gap to the rest of the table. But as we approach the midpoint of the season, can they hold on the rest of the way, or will one of their competitors manage to catch them up? It's all to play for here on Matchday 8. Hello, everyone. I am Metafiction, and we've got some very exciting matches for you today, as always. We're going to be starting off in Rome, where AC Romana will take on Tokyo SC. Then the current leaders Sao Paulo visit Hollywood. After that, Reykjavik and Tenochtitlan square off, as well as Schwarzwälder and Fußballverein and Shanghai Dragons. And we'll cap off today's action with Buenos Aires taking on Catalunya. Promises to be a very fascinating slate of matches, and cannot wait to bring it to you, as always. As I say, Sao Paulo have a little bit of a gap at the top of the table. Of course, they were in this position last season and weren't quite able to seal the deal. This time around, do they have what it takes to bring it home? That's questions for later, though. We'll start out in Rome, where AC Romana come out in a 4-2-3-1 formation. Already a bit of an improvement over last season for Romana. Meanwhile, Tokyo in their back three that they've switched to this season. Now you see, as I say, 6 points the gap between União Sao Paulo and Hollywood in second. As for right now, though, Romana kicks us off here at Coliseo, and it's Hoppity up the far wing already. Heading back, here's Santori. Pedrillo into Nunez! Well, that's a statement of intent if ever I've seen it. Within 20 seconds, Romana find themselves up 1-0. An electric start to today's matches. The ball was worked out around well to Nunez in the center of the box. And Revest well beaten by that shot. So Romana with the early lead here. How will Tokyo respond? Can they respond? It's a long pass, but it doesn't quite find Flip, and now Ibrahimovic making a run. Only Blackman to beat, and does, and fires past the goalkeeper. Well, I've answered my own question. That's how Tokyo respond to that early goal, with an early goal of their own. Ibrahimovic forces the error from coin Flip. Manages to cut inside to beat Blackman there and just powers the ball past Daedalus Cronus in goal. And that instant opener from Romana pegged back almost immediately as we are now 1-1. That goal will have done the world of good to settle the nerves of Tokyo. Might have been a little rattled by going down so early, but now that header on target from Ibrahimovic. Right into the hands of Cronus, though. Long ball back to Cronus as Romana trying to find their way through. Here's Flip. Hoppity with a one-timer to Santori. Pressure from Tokyo forces it back. Flip with the ball. And now Blackman being penned a little bit back into their own half, but they do find an outlet here in Hoppity. Up the far wing. Hoppity gets the cross, and it's a header by Gastone Poggio. Well, they've hit back quickly, almost as quickly as they scored that first. Hoppity able to get around Jude Greer out on the wing, and Poggio lurking at the far post with the header. Super Hoops couldn't get up to stop it, and now Romana back in the lead, 2-1. Absolute slugfest here in Rome as that cross goes in, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic with another reply. Well, I couldn't call how this game is going to go based on these first 12, 13 minutes or so. It's been absolute back and forth. Another beautiful header, this time by Ibrahimovic. And we are once again all square. That header cut out by Chambers there, but Nunez still with it. Still gets the ball though, Chambers. Ibrahimovic up the center, looking for the hat trick. Cuts it back to Greer, but Santori is there to intercept. Blackman now to Nunez. Nunez with a long pass inside, finds Santori. Now Nunez up the near flank. Puts the cross in, headed away at the far post, but it's back in for a shot. And Emerson can't quite get that on target. Still a very dangerous move there for Romana. And now it's Tokyo's turn to respond with a corner kick put in by Jude Greer, headed away. It's back out to Greer. Now Adama with the cross, headed away. And Ekholm Gunnarsson can't keep it down. An electric match so far. Lots of exciting chances at either end. And yet, as you can see from the match stats, not a lot of shots for either side. It's just that the shots that have been taken have been of high quality, as that free kick from Zlatan goes into the wall and behind for a corner. As we approach halftime, Greer puts it near post, and it's headed just over the bar. And so at the half, that flurry of opening goals has calmed down just a little bit. We are still level at 2-2 here at Coliseum. Romana drew first blood, but Tokyo managed to respond almost immediately. And then another pair of goals, one by Romana, one by Tokyo. Going very back and forth here in this match. It's going to be a very exciting second half for sure. Be very hard to predict which side will come out on top, as Tokyo get us started here in the second half. Delo trying to find Greer on the wing, but Santori cuts it out well. Now Hoppity. Ron Flex scrolls on the ball just a little too long. Romana retained possession as Pedrillo puts it inside to Muller. The shot, though, deflected. Zlatan just able to keep it in bounds, but that touch loose. Well, 30 minutes to go, neither side really able to get another dangerous chance so far. Although, as I say that, it's a free kick for Romana. Pedrillo with a long shot and forces the save out of her vest. That one skimmed the grass level. Bit of a scramble there in the box, but Tokyo do come up with it through Lee. Nunez. And then back to Blackman. Hoppity. Delo with the pressure, but does get the ball away. Header battle, and it's through on goal to Delo. Delo with the shot, and Kronos with a good save at the near post. Tokyo very nearly pulling ahead on the counter there. Greer will put in the corner kick, and that's headed into Kronos again. It's a tip behind for another corner. Sent again near post, and that one cleared off the line. Ron Flex able to get to it. Chambers hits it up for Greer. Hasn't really had much to do today. Cross inside, but sent clear. Super Hoops now with it. Adamu forward, trying to find Greer, but Hoppity cuts that out very well. And now the Romana counterattack almost on, but Chambers cutting it out. Yun up the far wing. Puts the cross in. And that one headed over by Zlatan. Yun not known for their crossing, but a very good one there. But the finish from Ibrahimovic is poor. Still looking for that hat trick. Nunez with the free kick. Sends it wide. And it's headed behind for a corner. Just about 10 minutes left to play. Any goal here would be decisive, one would think, as Nunez stands over the corner. Sends it near post. Headed into the air. Romano retained possession. Chambers cutting it out. And it's back out to Pedrillo and Zlatan trying to shepherd it away. Romana still with the chance though, and Muller takes the very long shot. Now it's a free kick to Tokyo. Chambers holding it in defense, sending it back to Rivest. Ron Flex losing out though to Kim Min Jong, but winning it back for the moment. Still come Romana. Poggio puts the cross in, headed away by Adamu. Hoppity getting into a dangerous position, sends it far post, headed down for Poggio. And is that the decisive blow struck by Romana today? Hoppity got the ball, managed to get around Ron Flex. Sent the cross far post. It was headed down by Kim Min Jong. And Poggio burying the chance. And it is 3-2 in the closing stages of this match. Romano with the free kick, looking to add on to their lead and ice this one. Here's Santori. Through ball. Emerson can't quite bring it into possession though. It'll be 2 minutes of added time as Hoppity holds on to this throw-in. In no hurry, and understandably so. Does eventually throw in, and Santori. And Nunez with a dangerous shot from the top of the box again. Similar to how Nunez scored the first goal. This time it goes wide. A last gasp Tokyo corner here. Their only chance to equalize it, one would think. Greer puts it in. It's headed away. And that is it. They cannot get it under control. And Romana victorious here today. 3-2, the final score. A great performance from Romana. Deserved victors, one has to say. Scoring immediately through Milton Nunez, and then a brace from Gastone Poggio, including the winner late on. A great team performance overall by Romana. Zlatan Ibrahimovic for Tokyo SC is your player of the match, but it's cold comfort as they won't be walking away with any points from this match. And so 3-2 the final there. Romana with a well-deserved win, and a much-needed one at that. Next up, we have a very exciting showdown in Hollywood as Hollywood FC take on league leaders União Sao Paulo. As I said at the top of this broadcast, União Sao Paulo, with a bit of a lead on the rest of the table, will be looking to extend that as much as possible. Meanwhile, Hollywood looking to close the gap. They've been on a real tear this season so far. A win here would really open up this title race. There you see Hollywood with the 6-point gap, as well as SFV. So this match could mean a lot in the final reckoning. Still a lot of soccer left to be played, but when you face matches like these, you know you have to win them at all costs. Hollywood have kicked us off here as Mograine stands over the throw-in. Ultimately sent back, but that's dangerous as Rubio pounces on it. Rubio rounds the keeper and buries the chance. And that didn't take long at all for Sao Paulo. Brooks with the back pass, trying to find Lovrich, but Lovrich well out of position, or perhaps the pass was offline. Either way, Rubio able to pounce on it and gets around gets around Walrison in goal. And very quickly, Sao Paulo out to a 1-0 lead. And now into a dangerous position there again as Cotswold wins the corner. Hashimoto sends it in, near post. Back out to Hashimoto. Cross at the end line, and that one dealt with by Hefeweizen. Hefeweizen, one of the premier free agent signings for this Hollywood team a few seasons back, as Hefeweizen, as I talk about them, heads it over the bar. A lot of teams interested in Hefeweizen's services did eventually land with Hollywood. And able to intercept that pass is Mulder, but it's ultimately unable to convert into a chance. Gagne trying to poke it free, but it's into the path of Martel. Martel shoots it right at Aguilera. One of the marquee matchups of this early part of the season, or I guess middle part of the season now. Number 1 and number 2 facing off as that free kick falls to Gerd Klose. But it's offside. And that was very nearly the equalizer Hollywood needed. Aguilera came out aggressively for the ball but couldn't hold on to it. Gerd Klose, it seemed, was there, but perhaps a little too eager. And so it comes off the board for Hollywood. Hollywood, though, do smell blood. They're pressing very high up the pitch. Cross goes in, and it's won away by Sao Paulo. Gagne through to De Groot. De Groot was offside, but the shot was blocked by Hefeweizen nonetheless. Peixoto through to Velstrazen Smith. Through ball to Rubio. And wins the corner off of Lovrich. Lovrich, the last defender there. Now Hashimoto. Another near post corner, and it's headed away once again. Hashimoto dribbling in the box, though, and forces another save out of Walrison. This time it's Cotswold to take. High ball from Cotswold. Eilish was leaking, or not leaking, was lurking. I hope Eilish wasn't leaking. You know what, let's just forget that entire statement, shall we? As here is the long ball. Can't quite find Rubio. Hollywood working it through the center as Brooks. Now Tortellini with the cross, and Gerd Klose puts it away, this time for keeps. And we are all square here at the pitch. Cormier with the first-time pass to Tortellini, and Closa able to get some separation from Kirkpatrick there. And let's look at the replay again. Closa onside. And that is 1-1. Hollywood leveling the gap, leveling the score, leveling something at any rate. And so they go into the break with a score of 1-1. Hollywood and Sao Paulo level terms after that early goal from Sao Paulo, but we just saw Closa with the equalizer. And these two teams, as you can see from the XG match story up in your upper left, absolutely neck and neck at this stage of the game. It's going to be a very exciting second 45. Remember, Sao Paulo with that gap in the table. If they win, that gap extends at least until SFV's match later today. If Hollywood wins, then the gap is only 3 points. Whatever happens today, it's bound to be an exciting run-in for sure. Sao Paulo, of course, looking for any chance to give themselves the best possible opportunities. Hashimoto forces the save. The best possible opportunity they're looking for to try and assert their dominance at the top of the table. Memories of last season will no doubt be fresh in their minds, how they had the lead for a lot of the season, but simply were unable to make it count at the end. And that header from Kirkpatrick will certainly count. Let's look at that again. Hashimoto whipped the corner in, and Kirkpatrick redirecting it expertly with the head. And Sao Paulo once again take the lead. And the press from Rubio on the Hollywood kickoff. Rubio rounds the keeper again, and it's Rubio. And just like that, Sao Paulo with a 2-goal lead. It's the same story as earlier. Rubio pressing Lovrich, getting the ball away, gets around Walrison. And it's a very tight angle to finish from. But finish Rubio has. It is Hollywood 1, Sao Paulo 3. Hollywood caught napping just a little bit on that kickoff and made to pay for it. And now Rubio again with the press, winning it away from Cormier this time. Now Mulder. Mulder with the cross. Headed just over. I believe that was De Groot. And that's another chance for Sao Paulo on the press, really paying dividends for them today. Brooks out to Martel, worked around, and Tortellini gets one back. Let's look at that again. The ball in a lot of space the entire time. Tortellini unmarked with the long shot. And Hollywood right back in this match. Down only 1 now. It's been an exciting match so far. Both sides with real intent as Gagne wins that ball away, cutting out the pass, and De Groot. And Sao Paulo once again pulling away. And it's the same story. The aggressive pressing and heads-up play, this time by Gagne to win the ball. Sao Paulo forcing and seizing on Hollywood mistakes. And there you see De Groot onside. And it's Sao Paulo 4, Hollywood 2, with just under 20 to play. Cuts through again to the group, but Hephavize gets to it first. And a long shot from Gagne, and that one looked like it was parried away by Wallerson. Sao Paulo still with the pressure, but Hollywood now able to get it away, and now find themselves with numbers forward on the counterattack. Brooks puts the cross in. It falls to Cormier, who shoots it wide. Well, Hollywood clearly not cowed by their deficit, with a very dangerous counterattack. Sao Paulo building now. Here's Hashimoto trying to cross to the Groot, who heads down for Velstrazen-Smith, and it's just past the post. 6 goals already, and both teams pushing for more. It's the exact sort of match you love to see here in the SSL. Mograine trying to dribble around Hashimoto, thinks better of it. Martel, now Lightning. Long through ball to Klose. Klose's shot blocked immediately, and Klose offside nonetheless. Hashimoto takes the touch, crosses in, and Wallerson there. Long ball from Lovrich. Dia and Mograine, but Hashimoto wins the ball from Mograine, making the run. Hashimoto, far post! And Sao Paulo pulling away, perhaps once and for all. And what a move that was. Hashimoto winning the ball, and a great finish. And looking at this score, you'd never be able to tell that Hollywood were ever in this game. It's become very one-sided. Perhaps a bit harsh on Hollywood. And you can't say Sao Paulo haven't deserved those goals, as Aguilera tips that over for Hollywood. Or excuse me, for Sao Paulo. Hollywood with the corner. Brooks now. Near post, headed into the air, and dealt with by Mulder. Both teams really came to play, but it's Sao Paulo who have had slightly better quality finishing, and certainly that press has really rattled Hollywood. Mograine cuts inside for Martel, and Hollywood forced back to try again. Dia out to the wing. Now into Mograine, and it's Gerd Klose again from very close range. Not much time left on the clock, but can Hollywood find a way back into this match once more? Klose getting in a great position. But with time ticking down, it looks as though Hollywood might not have enough. As Brooks to Martel to Tortellini, this time over the bar. Very similar fashion to how Tortellini scored earlier in this match. But it looks like Hollywood might be just out of time as Hashimoto with this corner kick to the near post. And it's a long shot off the frame of the goal by Mulder. Cross back in. Martel gets it clear as the referee blows for full time. A very exciting match here in Southern California. But it's Sao Paulo who take full honors here today. A brace from Gerd Klose and that goal off the corner from Tortellini will serve as consolation for Hollywood. Not a bad performance all around by the hosts. But in the end, one would argue simply just outclassed by the performance of Sao Paulo on the day. Julian Rubio, your player of the match, with 2 goals to their name and some very good pressing into the bargain. Goals also for Hashimoto, De Groot, and Kirkpatrick. And so Sao Paulo take a giant step forward in the title race, pulling away a little bit from their rivals Hollywood FC. The gap now 9 points back to Hollywood. Next up, we have Reykjavik United taking on CD Tenochtitlan. The expansion teams have been doing fairly well so far this season, really holding their own for the most part. But it's a stern test for both of them today. First up, Reykjavik welcoming Tenochtitlan to Lake Våleren. And it's a 4-2-4 for the defending champions. Meanwhile, Tenochtitlan with a 4-2-3-1. And you see, despite being at the bottom of the table, most people will suggest that they've played fairly well, haven't looked out of place at all this season. It's Reykjavik who get us started, going right to left in their customary all green. As Maldonado can't rein in that pass. Tentacles. Cross goes in, and it's headed on target there by Shaheen. And it will be a corner kick here. Tentacles. Forced out, but does find Furious Chicken. And a dangerous position for Furious Chicken, but ball just about able to tip it over. Another corner here, and that one skims the top of the net, courtesy of Rashford II. Shaheen with the through ball to Del Pirlo, and Ball with the save again. Del Pirlo so dangerous in those positions, but can't quite get it past Ball this time. And now Tentacles with the corner kick, and that one headed over once again. Bailey trying to swing it out wide, but Reykjavik intercept, and now here comes Shaheen. Good challenge from Guerra Strongine, but Reykjavik still with possession, and now Tentacles, and it skims in from Marco Tentacles. I don't think anyone expected that, but it did get past the Tenochtitlan defense there. Del Pirlo passing back to Tentacles. And it's a very strong shot there. Cameron Bailey trying to contest. The Tentacles just lashing it in with that right foot from a long way out. And so inside 15 minutes, Reykjavik 1, Tenochtitlan 0. Headed up for Del Pirlo. Reykjavik on the break again. It's Shaheen in a dangerous position. And it's off the bar for Shaheen. A very high percentage chance, one would think. But it clangs off the upright. Now Neymarinho with the cross, and that one's held by Ball. Long ball headed down to Urkel. Reykjavik working it along that right side. Shaheen looking to make up for that miss. Urkel. And now Tentacles again. Tentacles with another shot, this one just over. Reykjavik, of course, the defending champions of the SSL Major Division, winning in Season 19 at the last gasp just about after a slow start. Looking to defend that title as Del Pirlo up the far wing, cuts inside for Shaheen. Shaheen offside. And would have hit the post again, ironically enough. Reykjavik have had all of the pressure so far in this match as Neymarinho coming forward again. Bailey trying to track back. It's Tentacles and then scrambled behind. Shaheen again. Tentacles with the corner. And that one headed right into the arms of Calvin Ball. Ball, the former Sao Paulo goalkeeper, will have plenty of experience with Reykjavik. Now sends the long ball. Can't quite find Bailey Deali there. And now Tentacles up the near wing. Bailey trying to contest, but Neymarinho still comes with it. Cut out well by Lever, but losing out to Neymarinho, and that one took a deflection off of Peregrine Plink. Tentacles with the corner, and it's headed in by Del Pirlo. He's been lurking all game, and now he's popped up with a goal off of the corner kick. Tentacles with a great delivery. It was a bit of a 50-50 on whether Rashford or Del Pirlo was going to get to that. In this case, the man from Milan wins out. And so it is Reykjavik 2, Tenochtitlan 0. Long ball forward by Wall. Ultimately headed forward for Rashford, who finds himself in the dangerous crossing position, and it's scrambled in again by Del Pirlo. We'll have to look at that again. It looked like a bit of chaos there at the Tenochtitlan goal mouth. Watch the left side of your screen as Rashford brings this in. The cross goes in. It looked like Ball couldn't hold on to it, and it fell right into the path of Del Pirlo. And Reykjavik really starting to pull away here as Del Pirlo stands over this free kick. Bends it over and nearly tucks it top corner there. And it will be a corner kick. Headed away, finds Neymarinho. And Tentacles ruled offside. Free kick worked out to Shaheen, and it nearly deflected in. It took a bit of a wicked bounce, but Ball was able to stop it. Tentacles headed into the path of Ball, but it's sent away again. Deali now sending it long to get it out of danger, give Tenochtitlan a chance to reset. And Bailey poking that ball away, but Maldonado still with it. Bit of a collision there by Maldonado and Urkel, but none the worse for wear. Reykjavik still with it. That pass cut out by Armaros, the former Reykjavik player. Now long ball from Wall finds Del Pirlo on the hat trick, but sends it well over. Del Pirlo, remember, on the hunt for that goal milestone. With 2 more today. Shaheen. Now Urkel. And that will be the half as Reykjavik absolutely dominant so far. 3-0. And judging from the XG, it could have been even more. Del Pirlo with a brace so far. And how will these teams react to this situation at the half? Reykjavik surely looking to avoid complacency. Meanwhile, Tenochtitlan looking for any way to get back into this. Now worked into the box by Tenochtitlan and Shinji Kaido. The one to put it home. And there's Volta putting the ball into the dangerous position. Kaido able to take it away from Tentacles. The build coming a little bit out of nowhere. It looked like Maldonado might be able to get to that first rather than Volta. But Kaido makes good on that chance and pulls one back for Tenochtitlan. The former Tokyo player has really made a good start to life in Mexico City. And that corner headed out and away. Scarpetta to Chicken. Maldonado back into Chicken. And Gaisberg forcing the corner kick. Corner goes in. Bit of a scramble on Deali, sending it away. And Rashford will pick up the yellow card on the foul, winning the free kick for Tenochtitlan. Now worked up through to Rashford. And Rashford is offside. And that shot there from Bailey goes just over. Some more dangerous chances here from Tenochtitlan. 20 minutes left for them to potentially come back into this one. It would be a real feat to do so against the defending champions. Lever, excuse me. Diagonal pass to Kaido. And Chicken winning the ball away. Urkel. Maldonado, but Volta with the challenge. Now Urkel again. Here comes Neymarinho. Reykjavik retaining possession well, and they're out in a dangerous crossing position. Instead, cuts back to Tentacles, and Gaisberg wins another corner. That one headed or sent back in by Tentacles, but ball holds on to it. And that one in a dangerous position by Rashford, and wins the corner again. Back in a dangerous position is Neymarinho, and it's another corner kick. And that one headed right into the hands of Ball there. Urkel to Maldonado. Maldonado takes a touch and shoots wide. McGarry winning that ball in a dangerous position from Neymarinho as ball sends that long. Tentacles. With the low cross, but Rashford can't quite make good on it. And now the counterattack from Tenochtitlan. But it's snuffed out as Reykjavik track back well. Time running out for Tenochtitlan as Tentacles with this corner kick, and it's headed with some velocity, but right at ball. Time winding down here. Tenochtitlan perhaps without any time to get a comeback as Del Pirlo sends in that free kick. It's headed down and Rashford off the post, but would have been offside. And now Volta with the corner kick. It's punched away, and that is it. Reykjavik, absolutely dominant throughout, will walk away with a 3-1 victory over Tenochtitlan. A strong performance there from the champions. Alessandro Del Pirlo, the player of the match, 2 goals and an assist to their name. The other goal coming courtesy of Marco Tentacles. Meanwhile, for Tenochtitlan, a bit of a languid performance, unable to cope with Reykjavik. Shinji Kaido's goal, the only consolation on the day. And so it ends 3-1 in favor of Reykjavik at Lake Vålerenga. Next up, we move to the heart of the Black Forest as Schwarzwälder take on Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai, the other of the expansion franchises, or organizations, I suppose is the better term, for this season. They'll be taking on one of the toughest teams in the league in SFV. It's going to be very exciting to see how they fare, as Schwarzwälder coming out with a 3-3-4, it looks like. 2 attacking midfielders and 2 strikers. Meanwhile, Shanghai with a 5-3-2 perhaps. Truth be told, I've never been great with numbers and formations and such. It's all a little bit arcane to me. But there you saw in the standings, Reykjavik now pulling to within just 8 points of Sao Paulo, the closest challenger at the moment. Of course, that could change if SFV are able to get the win here today. Suzuki, and Hutchinson deals with it. Bierman trying to come through the middle. Wang Jihao. Jihao brought down, but it's a clean challenge by Shanghai. And now Del Vecchio. Trying to work it through, but Jihao cuts out the pass and puts it away. Well, it was a dangerous pass, and Shanghai made to pay for it. Ken finds the diver. The touch from, or perhaps the touch from Johnson was poor. In any case, it fell into the path of Jihao, who made no mistake. And Schwarzwälder with the early lead here. Maximiliano cross inside, and it's off the post by Schmidt. Diane wins the corner. Schwarzwälder in a bit of an unusual kit today in the all white. You don't see that from them very often. Usually in their very, very iconic black and white hoops. But perhaps these all whites are a little lucky. Or perhaps they're just Or perhaps kits just don't matter, I guess. I don't know. What am I talking about? In any case, Schwarzwalder still dominating. Suzuki with the long shot. And it's tipped behind by Takechi. Hakkinen shoots the free kick into the wall, nearly deflects behind for a corner kick again. And it's headed clear, kept in play, and SFV continue to retain possession. Through ball to Jihao, who buries it again. And Jihao seemingly already solving this Shanghai defense. Well, in fairness, it looked like it took a touch off of I'm Just Ken, and then Takechi did get a hand to it, but couldn't quite parry it away. And there you see Jihao right on the onside line. Perfectly timed run. Delvecchio with the cross, headed up into the air. Johnson. And Johnson goes down, and it's a penalty for Shanghai Dragons. It'll be Thomas Hohenhan to take the spot kick. But it's saved. The penalty save from Munakoi Saran-Setsural. The corner comes in from Billy Bob. Worked around to Volta, but it's deflected behind for another corner kick. An excellent goalkeeping display there by Saran-Setsural, able to stop that very powerful penalty. But the damage still perhaps yet to be done as Ford is keeping possession for Shanghai. Maximiliano with the strong challenge there to snuff out that move. Shanghai getting that excellent opportunity from the spot, but can't convert. And that corner kick held by Takechi at the other end. Some relentless pressing there from Forrest. It's ultimately flicked on to nobody by Ford. Schmidt, pass cut out for the moment, but back through to Jihao on a hat trick. Ball over the top, and it's Suzuki, but Suzuki is offside. We're going just a little bit early, and the 3-0 will not count. Deanne. Jihao through to Schmidt. This time onside and just fires past the post. Maximiliano forced back. Deanne through the middle to Schmidt. Schmidt releases Jihao. And Jihao forces a save out of Takechi. That corner headed into the air and ultimately dealt with. Only for the moment, though. Delvecchio with the back pass looking for Ken, but Jihao with the sliding challenge there. Shanghai trying again. That's a long back pass though, and Suzuki pounces on the mistake. And it's another defensive lapse by Shanghai. And once again, punished by Schwarzwalder. Bob trying to hit the long pass back to either Lediver or Takechi, but Suzuki faster than either of them. Deanne up the near wing. Puts the cross in at the end line. It falls to Schmidt. And Schmidt forces another corner. As we near halftime, it has been all SFV in this match. And that's headed in by Maxwell off of the corner kick. And the gap just keeps getting wider. And at the break, Schwarzwalder with a 4-0 lead over the Dragons. Shanghai have not really had much of a chance in this one. SFV pulling away. Shanghai had a bit of a flurry in the first part of that first half, toward the middle at least, but then it's been all at Forest at this point. And Saransatsral pouncing on that when it looked like a potentially dangerous through ball. Whittington. Maximiliano. Hakkinen with the through ball. Suzuki lays it off for Jihao, who hits it off the post. But Suzuki would have been offside nonetheless. Corner goes in and Takechi holds onto it. Now with a through ball, but Ford can't quite bring it in. Hakkinen now. Hutchinson able to deal with it, but SFE continuing to pressure. Here's Deanne. And Deanne wins the penalty. Well, it looked like Deanne had jumped over the challenge, but referee still blowing for the penalty, but Takechi with a save of the penalty. And now both sides have had penalties saved as this corner kick, but it doesn't matter this time as Maxwell heads it in. Well, it was a brief moment of hope there for Shanghai after the penalty save, but the ensuing corner sees a goal from Maxwell. And now it is Schwarzwalder 5, Shanghai 0. Ford, though, winning the ball and forcing the save out of Saransatsral. And now it is a corner kick here from Shanghai. Perhaps their first real chance since the penalty. It's headed away, but Ford still with possession, but can't find a teammate in the middle. "30 minutes left to play, and SFB seem to have this one well in hand. 5 goals to the good. Shanghai still not really able to get any solid chances on goal. Bob, though, puts that in, and that one headed over by Hohenhan. Deanne, up the middle, finds Jihao, who gets around the diver. Chihao, pass it to Suzuki, and Takechi there to scoop it up. "15 minutes to play, and SFV seem to be cruising to this win. Schenkinger now up the far wing. Cuts back for Deanne. Up the middle for Schmidt. Trying to get around DeVecchio, and does, and wins the corner kick. SFV, one of the title challengers last season, a perennial title contender. As that one headed back out for a corner. Will certainly be looking to give as much of a title race as they can. Sao Paulo's, again, in a very empowering lead, but SFV certainly with the ability to make them sweat. Schmidt. Cut back, and Whittington sends that over. Into added time. As Bob trying to cut that through to Hohenhan, but nothing doing. Referee looking at their whistle and blows for full time. And that is a very emphatic win by SFV. 5-0 the final score. Chihao and Maxwell with a brace. Suzuki also contributing. It's Maxwell who is your player of the match. Certainly a fascinating game despite the lopsided score. Both sides managing to save a penalty. When was the last time we saw that? Plaudits certainly for both Saran Satsaral and Takechi for being able to stop those very dangerous shots. But overall, a match that Shanghai perhaps would like to forget. And now we move to our final match of the day in Argentina, where Buenos Aires will take on CF Catalunya. Well, it's still fairly early in the season, but both of these teams, perhaps not in the position they'd like to be, will be looking for any leverage that they can get in order to set themselves up for the second half of this season. Both teams will see this match as one that they can win and perhaps should win. It'll be very fascinating to see these two sides clash. A 4-2-3-1 for Buenos Aires, who haven't really been able to nail down any consistent form. Meanwhile, Catalunya in a 4-2-4. Miedema and Cortista up top. Never quite know what to expect when these two teams face off. Should be a fun one regardless, as Catalunya is kicking us off. But immediately losing out to Buenos Aires. Kulishad up the wing for McManus, and it's dealt with by Bamford. Good passing by Buenos Aires to get the ball into a slightly less disadvantageous position, ultimately sending it back to Kabiri. Hit up the left wing for O'Leary. Trying to cut it back for Harrison, and does. McManus pokes it free, and now Genkal. Harrison, Genkal heads it in for Scott. It's tipped over, but would have been offside nevertheless. It's a very contrasting approach, as you see there in the bottom center. Buenos Aires playing very wide against a narrower approach by Catalunya. That approach seems to have won Buenos Aires the corner, but it's headed away. Kulishad into McManus. Now Harrison shoots and forces the corner kick again. Munoz standing over another corner. Buenos Aires really pushing for that opener, but it's headed away once again, this time by Pruskin. Kamanova into Wagner. And again. Bamford takes the touch into the box, but is tackled before he can get the shot off. And Catalonia forced back from that attacking position. Now it's a free kick for Buenos Aires. Kulishad just misses. Munoz with another corner for Buenos Aires. We seem to have the bulk of the chances so far. Catalonia defended well, as Kulishad with a grass cutter just inside the post, but able to be tipped behind there by Twinkle Toes. Corner comes in again and headed away once more. This time it's Catalonia with the corner kick. Pruskin sends it near post, and it's headed in by Art de Trella. Well, we know de Trella has a good header in them. They've proven as much this season, and they've proven so here again. A near post corner just tucked inside the upright. And Kabiri can't quite get down to stop it in time. And Catalonia with the opener off the head of Art de Trella. Can Buenos Aires answer back? They're being forced back a bit by the press of Catalonia, but do manage to work their way through here. It's a long shot there. Harrison nearly catching out the keeper. As it is a corner kick once again. A lot of set-piece chances for Buenos Aires so far. Can't quite make them count yet, though. Munoz, low cross, and Twinkle Toes scoops it up. Deep throw for Catalonia. It's worked to Wagner, who puts the cross in and headed in by Niedema, but this time Kabiri able to hold on to it. Cross goes in. Twinkle Toes has no issues with that one. Kamanova. Wagner. Worked out to the other side well by Catalonia. Cross goes in, and it's headed right at the goal, but a kick save from Kabiri. An acrobatic one at that. And it goes in, and this time Kabiri able to stop it. Catalonia really pressing their advantage here. Buenos Aires have had more corners, but now Catalonia is starting to catch up. Niedema's shot blocked. It falls back to Wagner. Shot also blocked. Kamanova. And Snook's able to intercept, and now here comes Genkal. O'Leary. Cutting inside, and it's a scramble right in front of the goal, but it comes to nothing. A very close call there for Catalonia. But they will go into the half with the 1-0 lead. Buenos Aires working that into a very dangerous position. Nearly able to poke one in right before the half. But as it is, Catalonia hold on and go into the second 45 with a 1-0 advantage. It was a great corner goal from Art de Trella. And the question remains, will Catalonia be able to see this out or potentially even add to their lead? It's Fry and Varnson onto the pitch for Catalonia. And it's Buenos Aires who have kicked off here and working the ball immediately out to the far wing. It's Genkal. Fiacre inside, but losing out to Pruskin. Throw in from Banford. Catalonia forcing it back, or forced back to the keeper. Luis Jr. And here is Fry. Cuts inside. And would have been a great position there for Cortista, but the finish just scuffed. An unfortunate turn of events. Catalonia doing so well to work it into that position, but couldn't quite put it all together. Now McManus coming forward for Buenos Aires, but Pruskin with a sliding challenge in the box. Had to be perfect, and was. O'Leary with the floated pass in, and that's headed over. I believe that was Scott. Long ball over the top. But Kabiri has come out for it, and they can't make it count, Catalonia. Kabiri came out for the ball very questionably, I might add. Catalonia tried to work it in, but the shot just wasn't on target. And that's a huge chance that just went begging there. Will they rue that when full time comes? Kulashad puts the floater pass in. It's headed up into the air. Falls to McManus, but Fry able to put it out of danger. Munoz scooping up. Buenos Aires trying again. Duck sending it back to Kabiri. Munoz. Now Harrison. Scott can't get to it, and Bamford starting the counterattack. Here's Joga Benito with the shot over the bar. Free kick for Buenos Aires. Fiacre. And now Snooks. Snooks with the cross, and that one headed well over by Scott. Buenos Aires starting to run out of time. They have 20 minutes left to try and find an equalizer. But that shot at the other end from Nelson, tipped behind by Kabiri. Corner whipped in. Detrella under pressure from McManus. Forced back. As time ticks down, Buenos Aires really running out of options. Not a lot happening here in the latter stages of this one, as we have only 1 minute of added time, and it's passed very quickly. And that is that. Catalonia able to hold on to a 1-0 win over Buenos Aires. That corner kick goal, courtesy of Art de Trella, proving the difference here today. Buenos Aires had a fair number of chances, but simply weren't able to put them away. Catalonia, for their part, with a chance multiple times to widen their lead, but similarly unable to do so. Art Detrella, your player of the match here today with that goal. And a strong performance from Catalonia, although they probably could have won this by one or two more. Still, they all count the same, and that's 3 points for Catalonia as we wrap up today's action. Before we go, let's just recap all of the results from today's matches. Romana with a 3-2 victory over Tokyo SC, Sao Paulo widening the gap against Hollywood FC 5-3, the final there. Reykjavik with a 3-1 win over Tenochtitlan, Schwarzwälder absolutely dominating Shanghai 5-0, and we just saw Catalonia with a 1-0 win over Buenos Aires. Well, that'll do it from us. Thank you so much for joining us here on Matchday 8 in the Major League. Hope you'll join us next time. Until then, this has been Metafiction. Take care.